Hey guys, this is John, and I'm back. I'm playing 5 Minute against Mr. Boris from bloody old England, or the UK, I guess is that flag. And, what to do? He's playing a true English opening, the Trumpowski. Let's do this. Maybe I'll play c5. c5 seems like a fun move. Seems alright to do this. Let's go knight c6. Maybe b6. Fianchetto our light square bishop. Who are you, Mr. Boris? You have a pretty good rating. Doesn't say on his profile. Does not say. He's anonymous. Okay, so I can decide whether I want to try to forestall his e4 advance or not. I'm just going to castle. I don't think it's crucial to avoid that yet. He can play a3. a3 would be a good move because then he defends the b4 square another time. Plays queen e2. Maybe rook c8. Again, I think he should go a3. He takes. Didn't really expect that. Okay, let's take with the pawn. He goes e4. So d6 seems obvious enough. Let's do it. He can jump his knight into c4. I was thinking I'd like to play knight g4, and then ideally trade the dark square bishops and stick one of my knights on e5. So I could think about that. However, if I play knight g4, he might play bishop g3. So I don't know that that's so favorable for me. Let's just break this pin. Or make him address the bishop. Probably he'll go bishop g3. That would be the most problematic move for me right now. If he trades, I'm happy with that. If he trades, I get my queen out and knight coming to e5 at some point. But at bishop g3, I may be able to lock his bishop out with e5 later on. He might play e5 himself. Let's just go knight b6. So if he plays e5 himself, what do I do about that? Because I can push d5, but then he's got this light square bishop staring into my position. Plays knight c4. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. Because now I can trade, maybe just play queen c7. And if e5, I can play d5 with tempo. However, that won't be the end of the story on the diagonal. I may still have some problems there. He's just going to double up. You know, I really want to play e5. Maybe I play knight a5 first. Yeah, let's do knight a5. Harass his bishop. Now I can seriously think about e5. It'd be a very interesting plan. What are my alternatives? Let's do it. Let's try it. I just want to stop him from playing e5 himself. I'm hoping that this bishop proves to be a bad piece in the long run. In fact, if he plays bishop h4 right now, I'll probably play g5. Force his bishop back to g3 and then play like f6. Really put a bunch of pawns on dark squares. I don't think it's so out of the question. There might be potential for f5 someday to undermine his e4 pawn. He just doubles up. I'm kind of thinking bishop c6 or c4. Maybe g6. How about g6? Bring our king up to g7. Looks all right. It also makes sure that if he plays knight h4, he can't get into f5 for free. b4 would be interesting if he played that. Moves the bishop. Queen b6 maybe? Yeah. This move stops b4. I can also play bishop a6 now if I want. And if bishop a6, he'll play bishop d3. I really like this g5 move, so I'm going to do it. It locks in my own bishop. I'm well aware of that. It's a pretty audacious looking move. f5, no. Let's just go king g7. No, he might sack on d6. Okay, compromise. f6. So I'm arranging all these pawns on dark squares. I really want to keep this out. He can move his knight and then play f3 eventually. That would be fine for him. But even then, like even if he gets the bishop to f2, it won't be the end of the story. Okay, now I hope he plays f3. He does not. Okay, now I can go here and try to capitalize on his lack of coordination. He plays an aggressive move. Yeah, but what are you going to do about knight c4 now? Could also just simply... No, let's go knight c4. Attack that rook. Rook doesn't have a lot of good squares either. I mean, if he goes to e2, I take on b2, and I'm attacking both rooks. Okay, so he's going to sacrifice the exchange. This is what he has decided to do. This knight is headed for e3, though. Ooh, I didn't notice that until now. Oh, man. That's really bad for me if he gets there. Okay. I have to take abortive action. I'm going to force him to take so he can't get the knight in. Oh man, this is going to get wild. Just did it anyways. How can you just do that? I totally didn't think about the f5 weakness. Did not even cross my mind. Okay, I got to get my bishop back to e8. I just assumed he was moving his knight around nonsensically. When he played knight c2, all I could think of was like, oh, b2 is hanging now. I might still win this game on time.
Check.
But I'm not proud of how I've played it. You can play f6, but I'll take with my bishop. Let's just defend this guy. Go here. Barricade ourselves. Make sure he can't hurt us too bad. Yeah, he wants to trade some stuff. What to do. Okay, just take it. Let him take with the rook. Trade? Nope, no trade. No trade. Now he kind of has to trade. Yeah, and I won on time. Not my best win, but I'll take it. I totally misunderstood the point of knight f3 to e1 to c2. Bad. Okay, so this is a Trompowsky, which is bishop g5 against knight f6. I played e6. This is one of many options for black. c5 is also a good move. That was recently recommended to me as like a practical weapon against the Trompowsky. Just allowing white to carry out their air quotes threat of bishop takes f6. And I think the person who recommended it just said that black has good play, like going d6, f5, bishop g7, queen b6 potentially. I'm probably simplifying that, but I know c5 is a highly regarded move. d5 is also good. Knight e4 is common to attack the bishop. I just did e6. The real way for white to take the bull by the horns in this position is e4. That's a move to try to prove that e6 was not accurate. And then after h6, white has to play bishop takes f6, because if they try to keep the pin, then g5, and the bishop moves, and then we take on e4. This is good for black. So in this position, which I've touched upon in a video before, black hopes to stay solid with his bishop pair. And ironically, black shouldn't play to open the position too fast. Even though he has the bishop pair, he usually takes a more restrained approach, like d6 and knight d7. Often fianchettos both bishops, I think. b6, bishop b7, g6 in here. Queen comes back to d8. He kind of turtles up and tries to throw caution to the wind against the e4 and d4 pawns. So I would say the opening proceeded normally for us. Just fianchettoed my light square bishop. This is good because my pawns are arranged on d7 and e6, so it had no hope of getting out this way. Now, I was mentioning the move a3. I thought this would be a good move for him because that would allow him to play e4 coming up if I don't do anything. If he were to play e4 right now, then I could take on d4, and then after pawn takes, I would have this move knight b4, which causes him some problems, I believe. Because if the bishop retreats to b1, I have bishop a6. So it's to his benefit to control the b4 square. So that's why I thought he might play a3. And I don't know what I would have done. I might have even have played d5, so he couldn't play e4. But he took. Yeah, that was surprising. I took this way, and he played e4. I wonder if d6 is not accurate here. The computer prefers d5 immediately. Yeah, but if d5, I didn't want this to happen. It's saying, no big deal, just take with the knight. This pin might have, or not this pin, this bishop being on the long diagonal might have made me more nervous than I actually should have been. Because it's only bad if he can get a queen-bishop battery going, like if he moves the bishop back and plays queen d3. But at the moment, it's a little far-fetched for him to just do that and mate me. If I really wanted to, like after this, I could even play like here and then put the knight on f8. Knight on f8, there is no mate, according to Bent Larson. So that might not have been a bad idea. d5. I played like a halfway move, d6. Bishop g3, that was good. Okay. Rook d2, and I went knight a5. I wonder if the computer is going to like e5 or not. So when I play e5, I chronically weaken f5 and d5. So strategically, it's a risky move. That's for sure. The computer thinks queen b6 is better. I just don't really see a plan associated with queen b6. His play seems very straightforward. Just doubles up and moves this bishop back. Starts attacking d6. So I do think I'm worse at this point. g6, maybe not so good. c4. Yeah, I thought about playing c4 as well, but I was afraid it would restrict my minor piece mobility. I wouldn't have bishop a6 anymore. My knight wouldn't be able to get into c4 in the future. So I did this, and then g5. This is an interesting pawn structure I have. Makes my dark square bishop pretty awful. And I have to take real care of my light squares, as was evidenced in the game. Wow, so he found a strong maneuver now. And I was viewing this position through rose-tinted glasses. I thought I was just much better, and I thought that white had blundered. Knight here. And actually, b3 is a brilliant move, yeah. I was like, why is he just giving me the exchange when I didn't even have to work for it? And the answer is that he wants to get his knight to e3 when I can't exchange it. And it's worth the exchange for him. It's worth giving up his rook for a minor piece to do that. Wow, so I'm really in trouble at this point. Computer sees some way I can resist. Oh, rook cd8. So just move the rook and then play bishop c8. Yeah, I didn't think about that. It says this position is equal, but, I mean, is there anyone watching this who would not take white in this position? You'd have to be pretty materialistic to take black here. If my light square bishop goes, my entire position collapses. I can't believe the computer actually says I'm slightly better. I guess I shouldn't be surprised by that. Computers just love material. So I played f5 thinking I was going to, like, blow up the f5 square. Basically taking the approach like, you know, I'm not going to let your knight in. I'd rather let you take the pawn for free and then have me, like, block that square. Oh, yeah, I was going to play rook f6 so he couldn't go queen here. But even this must be bad. Yeah, knight e3, and he's got threats like that. That would have been a good way for him to play. That would have been painful. Instead, he did this. Huh, I could have played f4? Really? What happens after knight f5 and then take? I thought queen g6 was unstoppable. Ah, but the computer says no. You are mistaken. d5. That's a clever resource. And now the queen assists in defending g6, so queen g6 would not be just winning on the spot for white. Aha. Yeah, not something I'm going to see in a blitz game. Doubtful. I think you could give me this position with even a few more minutes on the clock. I probably wouldn't see that. It doesn't look like my queen can participate in the defense. The only way I thought the queen could participate is if I had time to do like that and offer a trade for his queen. So that's why I tried to rush my bishop back to e8. And I think I made a comment around here, like, I thought I might still win this game, but I was a lot worse still. I mean, just the time disadvantage. The time disadvantage basically negates his material advantage. Yeah, and he didn't manage to do anything in this time. Or do much, really. So, alright, lucky win. But against the 23-53, I'll take it. Hope you guys enjoyed that game. And I will be back tomorrow with some more videos. Thanks for watching, guys.